Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This Conservative government projected a $3 billion deficit despite oil at $90 a barrel. With $41 billion in expenses, income taxes only account for about $12 billion in revenue, while $11 billion in resource revenue is being spent as fast as it's sucked out of the ground. We have a revenue problem, and the Liberal Fair Tax Plan solves this. Would balance the budget, we'd still be the lowest tax jurisdiction in the country. To the Minister of Finance, why does your government insist on tying our social services and children's education to the price of a barrel of oil?
The Honourable President of Treasury Board.
Well, Mr. Speaker, indeed we have not. We have provided stable and predictable funding to those social services and to education and to health care. Mr. Speaker, we have provided for the best possible health and education programs in our province. And, Mr. Speaker, I would have to say...
Members, please. Let's try and have some civility and decorum continue here. The Honourable President of Treasury Board, please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's pretty understandable that the reason that the party that is now asking the question moved from there to there is because they advocated for raising Albertans' taxes and taking more money out of their pockets than they should. We're not going to do that, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Liberal Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, it's stable, predictable underfunding is more like it. Given that this government is unwilling to show leadership on addressing our revenue problem, would rather waste taxpayers' money on jet-setting across the world, adding more PR staff, and voting themselves hefty pay raises. To the Minister of Finance, after 6 consecutive deficits, how do you propose to balance the books? Or do you just plan to change the definition of balanced budget?
The Honourable President of the Treasury Board.
Mr. Speaker, the plan for balancing the books will be released in a budget that is going to be coming forward into this legislature next spring. And as I have said before, and I'll say again, we will have a balanced operating plan, a balanced capital plan. We're going to actually, Mr. Speaker, talk about savings, because that's what Albertans have told us to talk about. We're going to talk about putting forward a business plan. Well, I know you folks over there probably wouldn't understand that part, but we're going to put forward a business plan that Albertans will understand, and that will be related to what they do on a daily basis, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Liberal Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that the Alberta Heritage Saving Trust Fund was set up to save non-renewable resource revenue for future generations, and today it's worth less than what it was a quarter century ago, and given that the Minister of Finance and his Associate Minister are conducting a dollars and nonsense tour begging Albertans to let them use their life savings to pay the daily bills. To the Minister of Finance, is your plan simply to raid the Heritage Saving Trust Fund in order to finance the PC's unbudgeted election promises?
Yep.
Honourable Minister of Finance.
Well, first of all, Mr. Speaker, I will not, and this government will not apologize for going out and talking to Albertans about their money and their savings. And I recognize, Mr. Speaker, that even though we did offer the invitation for the members opposite to attend a lot of these open houses, didn't see any of them there. So obviously, we're listening. They're making it up.
Honourable Leader of the New Democratic.